Firstly, thank you for meeting with me today, Susan, to put together the special recording for the BAFTS conference. When BAFTS asked me to do this, my mind turned towards presentations, facts, figures. Then I realised that you paint a better picture of your homeland and anything I can possibly put together. So I've gone for the stripped back conversational approach and hope that it's okay. To put our relationship into context for those watching that don't know us, together with my husband David, we formed Fair to Trade in 2008, and it's fair to say that Bethlehem will always play a huge part in a business looking to spread the Christmas story. Bethlehem Fair Trade Artisans, or BFTA, was formed in 2009, and we've worked together even before then, but all that time continuously. We wholesale your carvers products to many BAFTS members, churches, cathedrals, gift shops in the UK, not just Christmas now, but other products too. I think we're important business partners for each other, and that's built on our trust and friendship. So, Suzanne, I'm going to go over to you now. Thank you again for coming. Would you like to tell people listening, how did BFTA start?
Good morning, Melanie. Good morning, everybody who will be watching this interview. My name is Suzan Sahori. I am the co-founders, actually, and the idea of Bethlehem Fair Trade Artisans was created from the bottom of my heart. Why did I start Bethlehem Fair Trade Artisans? Have worked with the mayor of Beit Sahur almost 5 years as his PR, and during the second intifada in the West Bank. I realized working for the mayor of Beit Sahur that from 2000 till 2005, it was a year of humanity, a year where I got to learn my community. I got to learn the needy and the neediest, who needs support more. And I realized that as important as the handicraft sector is, as important as the people who are really part of this handicraft sector. Then I decided that we need to start an umbrella for artisans who are making the beautiful handcrafted products from olive wood, from ceramic, from mother of pearl, from embroidery. All the traditional Palestinian handicraft needs to reach out throughout the whole world through the artisans. Getting to know my community and the community of Palestine, I realized that a new umbrella has to be opened to support these very small and family-owned workshops all over Palestine, and to have an umbrella where they can be supported, not being a member in it or say I have to pay a fee. How can I benefit from Bethlehem Fair Trade Artisans? The idea was to create an umbrella, Bethlehem Fair Trade Artisans, that any talent in Palestine would like to promote it. Any talent that needs support in developing, needs support to sell and develop their product. They need support in many different ways, in even learning English, managing their own businesses. It has to be an umbrella which provides services only. It does not request so many membership fees or any of these NGOs or cooperatives that are have to be a member. You need to be specific aspects in your workshop. For us, each human being, each artisan can be a member as long as they understand what is fair trade and why fair trade. This was built on. The first year we did not work, we just visited the artisans and listened to them. Most of them have said, please help me sell my product with a fair price. Please, I want to have payments on time. I don't want to sell my products and be telling the person who bought it from me 10, 20, 30 times, please, I need my money. I need my money next month, the month after. So everything they have actually explained to us during our visits, it talks about the 10 fair trade principles, fair payment, fair wages. It was amazing that they fit together. And that's when I thought of it's Bethlehem Fair Trade Artisans.
And
it
what
is
was
the artisans.
what was happening with them, Suzanne, at the time? I remember when I've been over there with you before, you telling me what was happening when they were trying to sell to the craft shops, that they weren't getting a fair amount. What was happening there?
There are so many things actually happening with them, and I am talking about the family-owned workshops. I'm not talking a millionaire here. So what is happening? Usually in Palestine, mainly in Bethlehem, where the handicraft sector is most developed. On Saturday, they go to Bethlehem to the hundreds of souvenir shops to sell their products for the pilgrim to the souvenir shop owners. Of course, the competition among the souvenir shops, the competition among the artisans themselves, where somebody goes to this souvenir shop, has in his car 300 olive wood crosses, let's say like a holding cross. And they said, please, I have 300 holding crosses. Would you please buy them for me? I need money for the week. Oh, yes, sure. How much is each one? They say 50 cents. Oh, another carver out of the same city just came and sold me the same for 30 cents. If you take them, sell them to me for 30 cents, here is your money cash. And that's, so they are actually they are using the need of these needy artisans into their own well-being. So they buy these 1,000 crosses. A cross is worth 30 cents. Actually, it's worth like $1.30. They sell it for $10 in a souvenir shop. So only the 30 cents goes to the artisan, and the big benefit goes to the souvenir shop owner. Also, these artisans, these small artisans, cannot, the olive wood comes from the trimming that is at the end of each year. After the harvest of the olive trees, the trees have to be trimmed. So the trimming is sold to these artisans so they can make these beautiful products. The small, and it's like, we call it mafia of the olive wood, because there are companies who go to the farmers in Jenin and Nablus, Tulkarem. And then they are happy to have somebody cut actually and trim their trees for free, but they sell the wood to the artisans. So whoever has cash money, they can pay cash. A ton, let's say, take an example, 1 ton of raw material of olive wood costs 500 shekels. By the time it reaches the small and the very little artisans, it's already cost like 2,500 shekels. So imagine, because if the middleman, this small olive wood owner, he cannot afford to have 2,000-3,000 shekels where he can buy 5-6 tons. He has to go buy it from a bigger workshop who buys and cuts and sells. And then, of course, if a ton costs 500, it is sold for 1,500, for 2,000, depends on the size and the shape of the wood that they are required. So this is massive. That means the small artisans never makes an extra money for him. He just barely makes it through the year.
So I've seen from my visits to you how it can, how BFTA has improved the lives of some of these artisans. Can you bring to life for the people that are watching this now of a specific family or artisan that you've helped through BFTA, what change it's made?
15 minutes is too small for this, the impact, Melanie. I tell you what, we are a family. I mean, when I started Bethlehem Fair Trade Artisans, I had 16 volunteers from international countries. We have 4 volunteers from the West Bank, where they loved the idea. When I receive an order from Fair to Trade Limited, who actually started from zero with us, I think we started together and we built each other. And you have visited 3-4 times, which was like wonderful because you got to know who is behind it. Transparency. The team that works, it's like when I get an order, it's like mine. I'm getting a salary. Really, so I call these artisans, the joy I see in their eyes because they are getting a good order from Fair to Trade and others. It's the joy in my heart. And this is my whole staff. We love it. We feel it's like it's a family. It's a family. If they have an issue or they have a problem. I mean, if I remember now, 2009, we wanted to celebrate the 10 years, but because of Corona, we had to cancel things. From 2009 until now, if I look at my chart of the artisans, how they started, we take one big example because you know him, and then we take another example. Nidal had such a hard life. His father died. He was very young. He had to leave university. He started to work on small ornaments. He was working by himself. He has to take care of his mother and sister who is not married, and started little by little. I remember in 2009, as I do his chart, we sold like $1,000 for him, and it was still to the USA, to an American friend who used to do consignments for churches. And then Nidal started to grow. Nidal and like maybe 20 others at the same time, we offered them courses with Bethlehem University how to speak English. So when you, Melanie, and others come to visit them, they can at least introduce and speak for themselves. Yeah. Nidal have learned by us, by also Bethlehem University management, how to manage his workshop, how to grow, how to be sustainable, and not rely on Bethlehem Fair Trade, and not rely so much on souvenir shops or others who buy and sell his products but never pay him on time, and also always negotiate his price. So today, if I remember, Nidal, it was his family. Nidal, by the way, 4 years ago got married, now had 2 baby girls, a twin, and then had a boy just 2 weeks ago.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Proud because we grew with his family.
Yeah.
And now he has 4 other laborers that work with him. So that means he supports now his own family, mother and sister, and he supports 4 others who are working with him. That means this is an impact. This is a huge social economic impact, where a year he used to sell 1,000. Today he reaches $20,000 to $30,000 a year. For 2020, we cannot count it at all.
How has
yes.
that, Suzanne? We've seen what's happening with COVID. So bringing that forward, how has the whole industry in Palestine been affected?
This is actually COVID-19 crisis and disasters has been the worst ever in Palestine. When we compare the first and second uprising against the illegal occupation, it was, I remember working with the mayor 2000, 2005, things were closed, the streets were closed, the churches, but never been in such a crisis. The tourism section, district, tourism department in Palestine, especially in the Bethlehem district, is #1 income generator as a whole. Yeah. From export, yeah, from tourism using hotels, restaurants, but mainly, so in one of my articles, the rich is becoming poorer, but the poor is becoming much poorer. Unfortunately, such a disasters, hundreds and hundreds of families who are working in the hotel cleaning, who are working in the kitchen, who are working selling in a souvenir shop. Life has stopped, never like this before. The most disrupted sector was tourism sector, and unfortunately, none of the affected either artisans, hotel owners, restaurant owners have been some or a little compensated by the government. The government kept saying, yes, this is the most affected tour sector. They have not been supported. I am serious. Some families, sometimes they could not find food or medicine, Melanie. I know, because we worked every day at BFTA. We never even went, because artisans are calling us, Suzan, do you have an order? Maybe we were, as I must be honest, the only, if not the only, organization that could provide them with some orders, at least. Even if they get $50 an order, they are happy, because at least they can buy the basic food. For the first time as BFTA, I have to go to Caritas and said, please, at least give these artisans humanitarian aid, food for at least 1 month, help them to send them. And they did. They gave 24 of our neediest artisans humanitarian aid. These artisans have, January and February 2020, were working so hard, because we were expecting the most promising year for tourism. They all had stock in their homes, And of course, nobody could sell anything. None of the souvenir shops, even disappointed from the government, disappointed from some internationals who buy directly from these artisans who actually are wealth and healthy and wealthy also, told the artisans, I'm sorry, the products I ordered from you, keep them. I cannot now take it. I cannot pay you money. So these artisans have found themselves looking at the walls. So many have heart attacks. So many even closed their workshops. Some opened supermarkets to sell food products. Some opened vegetable. I have just underneath my house, Melanie, Maher and the artist, they both opened, you know. I said, my God, what are you guys doing? He said, I'm sorry, I have to sell my machines. I cannot, this is a whole year. It's not just 1 or 2 months, Melanie. It's a disaster. As much as I can explain, it is a disaster for these families. And I'm speaking only for the marginalized, very marginalized, because others maybe have survived. I'm talking about these, high percentage of them are very marginalized and have no other source of income whatsoever. It's only if they sell, they eat. They don't sell, they don't eat.
Do you think there is any improvement on the horizon?
We are still hoping. Looking at the news internationally, it's not much promise. In Palestine and Israel, I must say that Israel was the leading in vaccinations. In Bethlehem, people are being also high percentage vaccinated, which is really, we are so relieved somehow. But we are not sure if internationals will be allowed to come into the West Bank. They might be allowed to come into Israel, but into the West Bank, because a whole new young generation did not reach them, which is the business people, the tour companies who are really under 50 years of age. Until now, most of them did not get the vaccination. It's not promising at all, but at least we always keep hope, and we say June, July, yes, things will pick up and we will survive. We've survived this massive disasters and we will survive. And I must say, I want to send you a thank you. Our artisans did a thank you through handicraft. We said thank you to those who really made orders with us. Thanks to those who have really made it possible that we survive. The longer I am in fair trade, the more I believe in the fair trade movement. And I believe that the fair trade has to make a change, and together we can make even a bigger change. When we talk about environment, we installed solar system in our organization because we want to move towards environment. We don't want to use any plastic. I want us to use paper. So artisans, I said, don't throw papers in your home. We are even encouraging them to buy paper bags. When they go and buy things, don't take a plastic bag. But it's going to take a while in Palestine. But yes, fair trade for me is my love. It's the love of my life. It's the future, Melanie.
We know. Yeah. How can we continue to help you?
We want to always earn our living with dignity. So please keep promoting, because by our handicraft in your hands, that means you are taking our voices with you. And by putting them in this shop, in this beautiful cathedral, that means they know something about us. And it's our voice. So you are already, and others are carrying our voices through our handicraft. And thank you very much. And this is how you continue. I don't want any donations. I don't want any money to help an artisan for this month and next month. I want to sustain their work by saying, buy these beautiful things. They are the most beautiful. And
Suzan, that's why we love working with you. We love working with the artisans. We know exactly what it means. And thank you to anyone listening, the BAFTS members that are listening on here now that have bought products from us, from you. It just helps to continue the important work. Yeah. And thank you, Suzan, for being you.
Thank you.
No, it's true. You and your family, long may our friendship, partnership continue. And I can't wait to share a coffee with you under the skies, Palestine again.
Thank you, Melanie and David, and really for your great support. Wow. We say that we are a family and our family is growing, and we are part of this family.
Thank you.
Thank you.